Hi, this is Sage Kimball and I'm the Mad Stamper. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a card base for a 3D trifold shutter card using either 12 by 12 inch cardstock or 8.5 by 11. Trifold shutter cards can be as simple or as ornate as you like. I tend to go for highly embellished projects, and this type of card lends itself quite well to that style. Here's a fairly simple summer garden card. You can see how well it shows off the designer papers and still gives me plenty of room to decorate. Then for a friend's wedding, I created this more ornate card. Whether you like simple or ornate, the people you give these 3D cards to will see how much love and care and attention to detail you've put into it. You start with a piece of cardstock 5.5 inches by 12 inches. But what if the cardstock that you want to use for your base doesn't come in a 12 inch by 12 inch size? Then you're going to have to piece it together, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. But first we'll start with the regular card base. I've made templates with all the scoring and cutting measurements on them, which you can download using the link on your screen. So I've set the cardstock on my Simply Scored, and I have markers at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches, and I'm going to just score along those lines. Now you can score with your cutter if you don't have a scoring board like this. I like this because I think it's a little more accurate and it's so easy. Once you have the score lines done, then we're going to cut between the 2 inch and the 10 inch score lines. And I'm just going to use my cutter for that. We're going to cut it at 1.5 inches, and the little handle on the cutting blade will show you where your blade is, so you can line it right up against that score line. And you take and cut all the way down from the 2 inch to the 10 inch score line. Then I'll turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. Now you can start folding Mountain Valley folds on the outside panels. And then the middle portion, you fold the opposite direction as the two sides. And then you can crease those folds with your bone folder so they're nice and crisp. And there you have your trifold shutter card base, and you can have fun starting to decorate it. When you have 8.5 by 11 cardstock instead of 12 by 12, you're going to need 2 pieces instead of 1. So you've got one that's 5.5 inches by 10 and one that's 5.5 inches by 3 and 15/16 inch. And the reason for the 1/16 of an inch shorter is just so that the score lines will fold easily. So first I take the 10 inch piece of cardstock and I'm going to score it at 2 inches, 4 inches, and 8 inches. And with the smaller piece of cardstock, I'm going to score it at 2 inches. Then I'm going to take and make a pencil mark on the shorter side, just so I don't get confused when I'm trying to put it together. So the panel with the X that I marked is going to go underneath the end panel of the larger piece, like this. And I'm going to use sticky strip to hold it in place. And I'm going to place my sticky strip this direction, because when we go to cut it, we're going to be cutting through 2 layers of cardstock, which is a bit of a challenge for the cutter's blade is so small. So I want to make sure that we're not cutting through sticky strip as well. That'll just add to the thickness. So I'm going to use this as a reference so that I can see where my panels are going to be, so that I can put my sticky strip inside the panels instead of where I'll be cutting. And I like to use a fair amount of sticky strip on this because with 3D projects there's more stress on your seams than with flat items. Now it's obvious which side is going to get adhered to the larger piece, and I'm just rubbing the sticky strip so that the red liner comes off more easily. The next step is to take and attach this end panel to the panel with a sticky strip. And I want to do a little closer view, because what you want to do is set the edge of the cardstock on top just shy of the score line. And when I've got it in place and glued together, then I can make the cuts like I did in the first example. You'll see that on the back side, this shorter piece that we've attached doesn't quite come all the way to the score line, and that means that you'll be able to get a good fold on both of those score lines. Now I can cut between the 2-inch and the 10-inch score lines on each side, setting the edge of the cardstock at the 1.5-inch mark. Then I can fold like I did on the last one. Crease with my bone folder, and I have a base. Now, if you look real hard, you can see this seam here, and you can see it on the back side more easily, but this is going to get decorated so much that it's really not going to show. So whether you've got 12 by 12 cardstock or 8.5 by 11, now you know how to make a card base for a trifold shutter card. For more inspiration and instruction, be sure to visit me on my website at www.stampingmadly.com, the Stamping Madly Facebook page, and the Mad Stamper YouTube channel. Happy stamping!